Hi there. Welcome to this devotion. I'm sure many of us can remember what it was like as children, trying to agree carefully with our parents. You had to choose your words wisely, especially if you still wanted dessert later. We had to learn this old trick, we nod along, yes, 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 and gently slip in a but. And most of us call it the yes but approach. It's both respectful and clever. You acknowledge what they're saying is true and you offer another truth. It's actually quite funny to watch a child trying this out for the first few times, especially when the argument is still forming in their minds. They get stuck on this repeated but, not really wanting to let the conversation move on because they know there's more to say. And that's exactly what makes the "but God" phrases in the Bible so powerful. I don't know if you've seen any of these. In these moments, Scripture acknowledges the pain and the suffering and the reality of human struggle, but God steps in, not to erase the difficulty, but to bring hope, healing, and sometimes even a complete turnaround. The sentence finishes, but is not quite finished yet. God writes a new ending. And I'd like to take a few moments just to explore two of the many of these "but God" phrase moments we find in the Bible. One is in Genesis 50, and I must be honest, it's my absolute favorite. Joseph had every reason to grow bitter, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, torn from his home, wrongfully imprisoned. His life is marked with this deep injustice and deep heartbreak, and yet through it all, God was working behind the scenes. Decades later, the same Joseph, once a slave, is now a ruler in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. And from that place of authority, he saves the very brothers who betrayed him. Along with countless others, he saves them from a devastating famine. When the brothers come to him fearing revenge, what does Joseph say? He doesn't downplay their betrayal or pretend it didn't happen. Instead, he speaks one of the most stunning "but God" truths in all of Scripture. The scripture reading goes in Genesis 50 verse 20, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many should be kept alive." Yes, Joseph suffered. Yes, he walked through darkness and injustice, but God had a plan through it all, a plan to redeem, to restore, to rescue. And here's the incredible truth, that what was true for Joseph is true for you and for I. The pain you've endured, the trials you've survived, the tears you've cried in the dark, they're not wasted. But God can use your deepest wounds to bring healing to someone else. Your suffering can become someone else's comfort, not just because you understand their pain, but because you are living proof of the survival and even redemption that this is possible. Sometimes people don't need a sermon. They just need a story, your story. Then there's Psalm 73, verse 26, where the writer pours out his heart. "My flesh, my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." The psalmist admits that his feet has almost slipped, but he grew bitter and confused watching wicked people prosper. His world is shaken. His faith felt like it has slipped right through his fingers. But God held him fast. But God became his strength, his heart, the strength for his heart that he couldn't find in his own strength. But God didn't let him fall. And this is the truth we need to hold on to, especially in our weakest, darkest moments. Are you tired? Has your strength run out? Do you feel the guilt of causing the mess that you find yourself in? But God is not done with you. But God steps in where you've come to an end. but God becomes the strength you and I and we no longer have. But God not only makes us survivors, but a people that is shaped by grace, standing tall, faithful followers of God. I would like to encourage you to read the Bible and find more of these but God moments. And I've managed to find 42 and have 45, sorry, and have only shared 2 with you. This but God moments are full in the Bible. I hope that as you think about this and ponder about it, that you read up on Genesis 50 and Psalm 73 and find more but God moments and see how it applies to your life. That you can see the but God moments in your own life. And may you find encouragement and strength and revival in these moments. Until we meet again, God bless.